and Assembly Healthcare Professionals Association AHPA paid him a courtesy call in his office. The president, in a statement issued by his senior special assistant on media and publicity, Malam Garba Shehu, appealed to the health workers to put the current state of the economy into consideration and be moderate in their demands, while assuring of government's efforts to look into the issues with a view to resolving them. The President, Muhammadu Buhari, has confirmed the recovery of over 3.4 billion naira and other assets from former directors and contractors of the Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC. He spoke while inaugurating the NDDC Advisory Committee at the Executive Council chambers of the State House in Abuja. Members of the committee include governors of the 9 Niger Delta states, the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, and Minister of Environment. The president said the recoveries were made by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, and other anti-graft agencies. Recall that Buhari last year ordered a forensic audit of the NDDC and ratified the constitution of an Interim Management Committee, IMC, to oversee the probe. The deposed Emir of Kano, Muhammad Sanusi II, has warned that his deposition and banishment to Nasarawa State should not cause an uproar in the country. Sanusi will thank God that his nearly 6 years' reign was peaceful, described his fate as divine. The former central bank governor, who was recently dethroned by the Kano state government for alleged disobedience and insubordination to constituted authorities, said in a recorded video shot shortly before security operatives relocated him to Nasarawa State on exile that his predicament was not strange. Sanusi also commended his Muslim supporters, prayed that Allah keeps Kano peaceful and provide them with a good leader so as to get back their land. Former Kano State Governor Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso has accused President Muhammadu Buhari of ordering the dethronement of former Emir of Kano Muhammad Sanusi II. He also denied the claim by Kano State government that his administration queried Emir Sanusi 3 times. Kwankwaso stated these while speaking in an interview with Hausa Service of the BBC today. The National Universities Commission, NUC, has stopped the University of Lagos convocation because the Vice-Chancellor, Professor Oluwatoyin Ogundipe, allegedly sidelined the governing council. The VC, according to reports, failed to obtain the council's approval for the convocation ceremonies. The NUC expressed shock that the VC allegedly compiled and released the list of those for honorary degrees without seeking the consent of the council. These are contained in the Governing Council resolutions dated March 7, which were signed by Unilag Registrar Oladejo Aziz. The NUC on March 4 suspended the convocation ceremonies fixed for between March 9 and March 13. This is news around the world on Pensioners 106.7 FM. Let's now talk some pension and labor stories. The Nigerian Union of Pensioners, NUP, Oyo State Branch, has sworn in the newly elected executives of Idiakwe branches 1 to 4. The NUP Oyo acting chairman, Comrade Isiaka Abolade, while speaking with Pensioners FM correspondents Michael Adeyemo and Olarin Sayo Uweye, said in line with the constitution of the union, elections are to be held every 4 years.
What is happening here is election every 4 years. Our constitution says that we shall continue to reorganize the executive members. So today we are organizing election for Idiakwe 1, 2, 3, 4.
The Union State Secretary, Comrade Olusegun Abaton, said the election was peaceful and transparent and should serve as an example for other branches.
The Constitution of Nigerian Union of Pensioners places it that every 4 years there must be a change of guard. Election must take place, and that is what you have seen here at Idiakwe. The pensioners have created a culture of organized election that is supposed to be copied by politicians.
The newly elected chairmen were Comrade Emmanuel Ojo, Idiakwe 1, Comrade Olalekan Ogunbiyi, Idiakwe 2, Comrade Rashid Balogun, Idiakwe 3, and Comrade James Oshuntade, Idiakwe 4. The Oyo State Local Government Staff Pension Board, Ibadan, has released its work schedule of verification and disbursement of checks for the beneficiaries of gratuity for March 2020. According to the schedule, the event starts today, March 11, and ends on Thursday, March 26. All concerned persons are expected to find out from concerned authorities the day they are to appear according to the local government arrangements. The screening takes place at the premises of the Local Government Staff Pension Board, Secretariat, Ibadan. Meanwhile, some Oyo State teachers who underwent screening at the State Secretariat, Ibadan, say the process was seamless. It is part of the ongoing screening for all workers and pensioners drawing allowances from Oyo State. Speaking with our correspondent, Omobolaji Akintola, one of the teachers from Ibarapa Central Local Government, Mr. Sulika Gbadamosi, said their credentials from primary to tertiary school teachers were screened to ascertain the qualified among them.
So we are here for the screening exercise organized by the Oyo State government, in which our credentials are to be presented starting from our primary 6 living certificate to the tertiary institution certificate. And I think government is doing this just to sanitize the teaching service, to know the ghost workers among them.
A female teacher who also came for the screening, Bolatito Aladesomi, while commending Oyo State government for the initiative, said the screening will help to sanitize the teaching service and differentiate between real and ghost workers. She also said the initiative would help the state government know the exact number of teachers employed and paid on a monthly basis.
The verification is very, very good because for so many of us who are being of age, so is now pave ways for our children so as to get their own space for their own job to find something. It's a very good idea for the state government to know the exact number of the people that they are under them. They don't know the actual number of the workers they are paying for, but for this exercise it's very, very good. The zone that are here, Ibadan zone is here, Ogmosho zone is here.
The screening is being carried out for all zones, and those that had theirs on Tuesday were mostly from Ibadan and Ogmosho zones. Benue State Governor Samuel Ortom has apologized to retirees and workers of the state over the inability of successive government to find a lasting solution to the nagging backlog of unpaid pensions in the state. The governor, who tendered the apology in Makurdi while flagging off contributory pension scheme CPS for the state workforce, said the huge pension liabilities he inherited from the previous administration was one of the unpleasant realities his administration had been battling with. Ortom, however, said his administration has concluded that the contributory pension scheme is the best solution to the state's pension problem. Santa Monica City Council in the United States will vote in order to make cuts to retirement and healthcare benefits for municipal employees after negotiations with employee unions stalled for more than a year. Santa Monica and other California cities are trying to resolve multi-million-dollar deficits between the pensions they promised workers and the state's public employees pension fund that suffered severe losses during the Great Recession. Local officials have, however, proposed cutting a special pension benefit and covering less of employees' monthly health care premiums in order to reduce Santa Monica's $448 million unfunded pension liability and align with state reforms to prevent deeper pension shortfalls. According to reports, more than 1,800 city employees working in transportation, administration, management, law, and other fields are subject to the retirement and healthcare contracts. You're still on to news around the world on Pensioners 106.7 FM, Ibadan. Now to other stories. Sudanese authorities have arrested a number of suspects in connection with what the government called an assassination attempt against Prime Minister Abdallah Hamdok in an incident that underlines the fragility of the country's transition to civilian rule. Officials and state media said the 64-year-old Hamdok survived unscathed after a bomb and gun attack targeted his motorcades in the capital, Khartoum. Khartoum Governor Ahmed Abdon said a number of people suspected of involvement in the attack had been attacked. The country's top prosecutor, Taj El-Sari Al-Habib, said in a statement that prosecutors have embarked on their investigation into the professionally plotted attack. Sudan's information minister, Fali Sahi, said an investigation was underway to determine who was behind the attack. United States U.S. President Donald Trump and Congress are moving towards new legislation to support the U.S. economy with competing priorities. Democrats in the U.S. House of Representatives want to aim any legislation on helping families that may be hurt by school and workplace closure. Meanwhile, Trump and Republicans in the Senate have promoted the idea of a temporary elimination of payroll taxes as a way to boost the economy, a plan many Democrats have dismissed. Trump and Vice President Mike Pence met at the White House with private U.S. health insurance executive who announced commitments to waive core payments and provide coverage for coronavirus tests and related doctor visits. British Health Minister Nadine Dorries has tested positive for coronavirus. The Conservative Member of Parliament confirmed she has tested positive for coronavirus and has been self-isolated at home. Health officials are currently trying to trace where Dorries contacted the virus and who she has been in contact with. Dorries, who helped craft the legislation to fight the coronavirus, is, according to reports, the first British politician to be diagnosed with COVID-19, raising immediate concern about whether she has spread the infection. She had reportedly been in touch with hundreds of people, including Prime Minister Boris Johnson. A Pakistani fighter pilot has died when his F-16 jet crashed in a wooded area near Islamabad during a rehearsal for an upcoming military parade in the capital. The country's Air Force said there were no casualties or property damage. Pakistan's President Afif Alvi expressed his condolence to the family of the pilot, who has been identified as Noman Akram. According to a statement by the Pakistan Air Force, the US-built F-16 was taking part in rehearsals for a Pakistan Day air show and parade set to take place on March 23. You're still listening to news around the world on Pensioners 106.7 FM. We will be back with entertainment and sport stories. Please stay tuned. Welcome back, and now to the entertainment world. Popular gospel artist Lanre Teriba, also known as Atorishe, has been attacked by unknown gunmen suspected to be kidnappers. According to reports, the gospel singer who escaped the attack is seriously injured and has been admitted in an undisclosed hospital. The incident reportedly happened at the Berger end of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway while Teriba was returning from an engagement. Teriba hit the stardom with his debut album, Atorishe Reformer, in 2000, staged concerts with several musicians like Kwamwon the Ultimate, Nice, Sami Oposo, Pasuma, among others. Now to the world of sports. Following the death of Nasarawa United's Chime Martins, who tragically passed away during Sunday's Nigeria Professional League clash against Katsina United, the director of sports, Nigerian Professional Football League side, Mountain of Fire Ministries Football Club, Godwin Enakane, has shared his view about the incidents. speaking at a two-day training event for sports journalists on tackling corruption and on the development of sports in Nigeria in Abuja, Enahanes made it known that NPFL have rules spelled out but are not being implemented. According to him, such disobedience of rules was responsible for the incident that led to the death of the player.
It is natural today, but I can tell you that it is everywhere in Nigeria. For instance, what you do as a club side is the State Football Association. I've always kicked against this. The State Football Association is in charge of medical. They provide the ambulance, they provide security, they provide the ball boys. The job of the team, the club side, is just to show up on match day. Security is not in your hands as a club side. Medical is not in your hands as a club side. The medical that is in your hands as a club is the immediate, that day. It is natural today.
Our correspondent Raymond Tolulope reports that the two-day event organized by Human and Environmental Development Agenda is intended to train journalists on investigative journalism. Manchester City's Premier League home match against Arsenal has been postponed because players from the London club have had contact with the owner of Greek side Olympiacos, who has contacted the coronavirus. A number of Arsenal players had reportedly met Evangelos Marinakis following their Europa League round of 32 meeting in London on February 27. Marinakis, who also owns Championship side Nottingham Forest, said he had contacted the virus. Meanwhile, Wolves said their request to Europa Soccer's governing body, UEFA, to postpone their Europa League last 16 first leg against Olympiacos had been rejected. To end the news around the world on Pensioners 106.7 FM, here is a recap of the main stories. President Muhammadu Buhari has admitted the negative effects of coronavirus on Nigeria's revenue. Sudanese authorities have arrested some suspects in connection with an attempted assassination of their Prime Minister, Abdallah Hamdok. United States President Donald Trump and the Congress have moved towards a new legislation to support the United States economy with competing priorities. And in the world of sport, it was brought to you that Manchester City's Premier League home match against Arsenal has been postponed due to players' contact with the owner of Greek side Olympiacos, who has contacted coronavirus. For any information, please contact us on these mobile numbers: 0812 0086 270 or 0812 1889 462. You can also visit us at the Oyo State Pensioners House, Agbarigo, Onireke, Ibadan. The news editor is Omobolaji Akintola. On behalf of the production crew, my name is BILQEES ISHOLA TAIWO. Good afternoon.